This city. An old friend always told me, never move to a city with more vowels than you got limbs. It'll kill you in the end. The skirt leaning over me is Barbara Robinson. She wasn't really part of the job, just a perk, so I thought. The same old friend who told me about the city also told me never to trust a dame with a green feather in her hair. She'll get you killed. He was a pessimistic son of a bitch, but he was the best friend I never listened to. He used to call me the Hawk, on account of my superior foresight, but, you know, there's one type of sight that's even better. Hindsight. And I gotta admit, looking through it, everything I did looked pretty stupid. It started when this Daisy came into my office, said he had a job. His name was Nefton. The gig was to get hold of some new invention. A reputable German scientist had hot-fingered it. Now Nefton wanted it back. He wouldn't tell me what it was, just that I would find it inside a metal case. The German always had it with him. The only connection I had was the German's bit of tush, reappropriating a mishandled product that needs to get back to the hands of its rightful owner, he said. Theft under a pretty name. I told him it was a wrong number. He said that given my past, some may describe me as a wrong number. I told him if that was the case, we'd both better hang up. Then he gave me a number. A real big one. What can I say? I'm a weak sister for two things. Money and broads. I hit a few guys I knew, looking for anything I could get. Then I hit the jackpot. This German scientist's kitten had been spotted in a gin mill I knew well enough. Uptown. Seemed like a fair chance I could find a lead there. The bozo behind the bar couldn't tell me jack about the girl, but a flash of my PI badge gave me cheap drinks. That's the kind of place this was. I couldn't imagine why a girl like Barbara would find herself here. Yet, here she was, and I could tell she was going to be trouble. She smelled of lilacs. I said good afternoon and mentioned the weather. She wasn't impressed. Gave me a sarcastic smile and went back to her purse. I asked her if the purse was a Galeng original. I knew it was. My ex-wife had had one. She raised her eyebrow and I asked her what she would say to a drink. She took out a cigarette and said, I'd offer him my hand and say, Mr. Drink, you better be strong, sweet, and see me real often. I stared at her. What could I do? I was dizzy for her already. I got something out of her about her boyfriend, the scientist. She wasn't really interested in him, but he could keep her well off for a while, and he wasn't such a bad guy. Then she told me it was a shame, because she loved bad guys. I smiled. This was too easy. She was telling me too much, too fast. This dame was trying to play me, but I've been played before. And not soft like a violin. I was the gong in the orchestra of existence. But I knew how this overture ended. When I got back from the drains, I could guess what she'd done. She said she was going to powder her nose. All it came down to was, I was smarter than her. I woke up hazy, 1,000 elephants dancing the flamenco in my head, and I was naked. The German scientist stepped out of the shadows and put down his case. Then he apologized and said he would have to begin the interrogation. My guess was they'd been watching the bar to see who was going to be sent after the invention. She wasn't his girl, she was just a honey trap. They must have laughed hard seeing a rube like me stroll in. He asked who'd sent me. Burroughs? Frungston? Jelly? I told him I didn't know, but he knew I was lying. He pulled a gun from his coat. He wasn't fooling around. Lucky for me, you don't do a 10 stretch in Sing Sing without learning a thing or two. It had to be now. I took him out with one punch and opened up the case. It's empty, I said. The German insisted it wasn't. I kicked the case to him, and he had to agree. He screamed something about being double-crossed. Poor schlub. He told me what it was he had made. A mask that could make anyone like me invisible. Then it hit me, right in the mug. It was about her. It always had been. The invention was only part of it. Someone was after her all along, and using this invention, he could make me the fall guy. It all fit like a French jigsaw puzzle. I asked him where Barbara was. He said her job was done. He'd paid her and she split. I was out of luck and out of time, but my gut knew where she'd be. She'd left the bar by the time I got there, but the smell of lilac was strong. If she died, it'd be curtains for us both, and there'd be no encore. I wasn't going to die a murderer. I got between her and the bullet just in time. And I guess this is about where you came in. She explained how she stole some money from this guy, Nefton, years before. That's all there was to it. Revenge, plain and simple. Nefton wanted her dead and set me up to take the rap. Damn stupid way to die. Dames with green feathers in their hair. They'll get you killed.
I'm so sorry. It's so tragic. All I really wanted was to disappear.
There's nothing tragic about being invisible, baby. Only if you're trying to get noticed.